It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Magical day to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Banning, and I will be your host for this absolutely magical, robust lifestyle show. I would like to thank each one of our listeners that are listening to this podcast on the numerous different platforms. I am just so very grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. And as I said, you are in for one magical show today, as I have with me my returning incredible diva, Ann Klossing. And her and I are going to chat about evidence of your angels. Oh, wow. The magic begins. And with that, Ann, would you please introduce yourself to our listeners today?
Absolutely. My name is Ann Klossing. And if you asked me 5 years ago if I would be sitting in this chair today, I'm going to shut my window. That's evidence of farming.
I love it.
Evidence of the tractor. So if you would have asked me 5 years ago today if I would be sitting in this chair, the answer would be absolutely no. I have no idea what you're talking about. So I went through a brisk transformation, and my actual spiritual transformation started probably about 15 years ago. And who I am is I am an author, and I'm working on my own book, but I've been in a couple of different co-authored books. I am a channeler, and I channel creator energy, and more importantly, when I work with my clients, I channel their soul. So it's specific, it's very intimate, and it's the information that you need to know today to catapult you into a spectacular future. And then I just consider myself a mentor or spiritual guide. And I begin my healing with angels. And I think it's important that it's kind of, I wouldn't say their time, I'd say it's our time. And the reason I say that is because I did not know who I was. I believed that I was the person who stood and looked at myself in the mirror, and that was me, and that was all to me. And that life had just handed me a bunch of crappy circumstances. And when I came to understand that there is, life after death, and there is no death, you just transition. So it's this beautiful soul that resides in the center of you and all around you and all above you. And then the Creator did not send you here alone. So you have a guardian angel. Every person has a guardian angel. Every living being has an angel. So think of every blade of grass with an angel bending over, nurturing it, season after season. And that's how vast we are. So I'm going to ask a question for you. So how did I get started working with my angels? Through my chiropractor of all people. And Adam Wacker from Lancaster, Wisconsin. I love Adam. I adore Adam. He has been one of my avid supporters and encourager, and really helped me and put me in with the right path of masters. Louise Hay, Mirror Work, Heal Your Body. Those two books were the very first books I purchased. And then he also had put me on the path of Doreen Virtue, who is no longer doing this type of work. She's gone back to pretty much a core Christian Jesus faith, and I have nothing against it, but she did beautiful work, and we all choose our own path. But her works prior to that really helped me understand how to communicate with my angel. And my first card deck was the Angel Therapy card deck by Doreen. And I think that might be a Hay House product. And I think you might be able to still get that. But I would draw these cards, and this is what I did on my own time. I did it early in the morning before I went to work. And some of those cards would have journal promptings. And when I would journal, whatever the prompt was, I began to ask questions to God. And, I begged to feel better. I was in a depressed state. I'd come out of a second divorce and got myself better, but I was still in that state of who am I and what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
And that question of what did I do wrong? Putting yourself down. And the angels, Archangel Michael was probably the first one that came through, and right behind him was Archangel Raphael. And then Archangel Jophiel just shed light on me. I don't recall conversing with her. I look at Jophiel as a female vision. And angels, just so you realize, angels are neither male nor female. They will come to you. So Archangel Michael might look different to somebody else than the way I envision Archangel Michael. So they're using the creativity of your mind, and they will come to you in the facet that you are comfortable with. So the creator is 50% divine masculine energy and 50% divine feminine. And the angels are a chip off the old block. So they have never been human, and they will never incarnate as human. But they are here to help the humans. They adore humanity, and they adore you as an individual. So if you think of God as one big circle, and then you had that explode into a bazillion million fireworks, and then you have the angels, and then that firework explodes again, and then you have all these souls, and then that's you standing in front of the mirror, and what you see is your human personality, and your soul resides deep within you. And when you look deeply in your eyes, you are communicating with the soul, who is creator. So it kind of works. That's how I believe it to work. That's what feels comfortable to me. And that's when I communicate and I channel, those are the visions that they have given me to help people kind of understand it. Inner humanity, consciousness itself, would blow our mind. We just can't fathom it. We've been granted this beautiful life on earth, and we get just a snippet of it. And that's what we long for. We long for that, where we came from. We want to go home. And in order to get in touch with home, you can go directly to source, you can go directly to your soul, or you can work with angels, who in turn helped me to get to know myself and get to know my soul. And it was through those automatic writings that I was able to process my healing and understand that the victim mode was no longer, it's kind of like an outdated pantsuit. It didn't look good on me anymore. So it was changing that outfit and getting into something a whole lot sexier called joy.
Oh, I love it. I love it, coming out of the victim mode and going into joy. How many of our listeners and how many of the people in this universe are in that victim mode and having a hard time to find that joy in life? It's always like, why is it this way? Why? And yeah, when you let go of the victim mode, and I always say, go to your heart, like you said, to touch home, and let those angels explode inside of you, because they are right there. They're always with you, whether you realize it or not. And when I think back over my lifetime, I'm like, oh my goodness, how many times they were right there holding me and holding my hand and guiding me, and I didn't even realize it. So yeah, they're always right there. And then when you tune into them, oh my word, to me, that's where the joy begins.
Yes, and the tuning in is the asking. So if you've listened to me before on Robust Living, I believe I've touched on the universal law of free will, and angels abide by that law. So in order to get their assistance, you have to ask. And sometimes just the thought is the asking. And it's I always have a hard time with this word, specificity. It's being specific with your words. It's being aware of how you ask. And another way to look at it is, especially if you're looking to achieve a certain, state of being, a certain experience, relationship, whatever it is, it's not being in that lack mode. It's being in that feeling that you have the best relationship that you could ever desire and that you have it in your hand now. That's the challenge to life, is it's the journey of your becoming. So whatever it is for you, it could be finances. So for me, 2022, 3, and 24 have been a hiccup with finances. And I know it's a lesson for me. And it's practicing what I preach and putting myself in that state of being. And that's where my angels, and I'm going to say my, our angels come into play, is, show me another way to look at this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bring me the clarification that will help me, will assist me to take the next step I need to take. What is my next step in forgiveness? There's so many questions you can ask, and remove yourself from the victim mode. So one of the things I'm offering right now is angel readings. And I'm really having fun with this. The few clients that I've had sign up for it, we've had a blast together. So what you get out of this, it's a 30-minute session with me. You'll get your guardian angel's name, your guardian angel's color, your soul color with it. And then you're going to get a message from your angel and or your soul, or messages. And sometimes, depending on what the message is, you'll get a lesson from me on, if it was, give you a specific, like a health issue, then I can give you my experience plus the teachings that I've learned from Mary Morrissey, Jack Canfield, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay. Bring those in to help you look at it in a new light, but also more importantly is developing that relationship with your guardian angel. So once we go past that, then we're going to do I call it a trinity. It's a triad. So it's a sacred meditation, which is really cool, that you can go back to. So not only can you keep the recording of our 30-minute session, but you will get a written version of it. And I highly encourage everyone to do this. And I just did it myself. And I've really noticed some changes. When you record a meditation and you listen to it in your own voice, the vibration of your voice is only you. And that is a vibration of the soul. There's only one of that vibration. No one else has a voice just like you. And when you listen to yourself in a meditation, there's recorder apps that are free. That's all I have. I don't pay money for it. And it's on my phone. And before I go to bed, I find it, I play it, and I've been sleeping better. I haven't been able to sleep, and I've been sleeping better now. And that one is connecting me with the heart space and opening my heart space up and really bringing in that creator energy. And then bringing it up through my higher heart, up through my throat chakra. We stay and play in the throat chakra a little while on things I want to be. Who I want to be. Spend a little time in the third eye. And then really opening up my crown chakra. And that's the one that I personalize for myself. So I'm greedy with that one. I would need to tweak it if I would process that one. So it's a base meditation that you can reuse over and over again. So, and the investment is $47 for a 30-minute session, and you get all that. And if I have time afterwards and I don't have any book behind me and we're still on a roll, we just keep going. Because if you're not done, I'm not done. So that's kind of how I roll.
Oh, That is so generous of you and so kind, because that gives a lot of the listeners that are saying, well, I'm not sure how to get started. How do I do this? It gives them an opportunity to tap into it and to have a mentor like you to help them to find that angel and really tap into your heart space and hear that angel talk to you.
And know that it is completely normal, because as soon as you make connection with that higher source, the ego is right there ready to sabotage it.
Yep.
Because, oh my God, you might get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's the way it was for me. So I feel so honored to be able to quantum leap people to make this connection. And when they come back to me and say, well, I kept thinking this and I kept thinking that, and it's like, man, that's just your ego.
Mm-hmm.
Just, talk to it on Friday at 5 o'clock. And it's fun to be able for me to sit here and help people, because I was that person. I go back and I get all these profound readings. I go back and read them. And then sometimes they give me homework and I would go do the gratitude journal or whatever they had me do. And it's like, wow, oh, that's just me. Yeah, and the ego will just do things
Mm-hmm.
because it's used to being in a particular paradigm. So if you were like me in fear mode for a lot of years, or in that victim mode, you're playing with the fear vibrations. You've been playing with them for a long time. And that it's just like a balloon. And that balloon, it starts to shrink. As the helium goes out of it, it begins to shrink and shrink and shrink. Well, that paradigm that the ego created gets scared and frightened. It's like, oh no, you don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start to listen to it again. So then the balloon starts to expand again. So as the paradigm shrinks back to the nothingness from which it came, you will get all of the resistance behind the connection. And after you get practiced at it, you recognize it as that, and you just blow it off. It's not real.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like it's the old paradigms and you're moving into creating new. And your ego, for me, ego wants you to hold on to those old paradigms and keep going back there to the fear, to the, oh, what if, and that voice is pretty loud, where
Yeah.
when you go to your heart space and the angels, it's a soft voice. But when you hear that soft voice, it's like, yes, that's the way to go, not the old ego paradigms that I've lived in the past.
And I don't know all of my clairs, but everyone will be stronger in a certain clairvoyant. Your clairsentient, which I think there's clairtactile, which is touch. Sentient I think is the knowing. You just know.
Yeah.
So clairvoyant is the ability to see it. So not everybody has all of those. So if you can't hear it, you may get a vision of it in your mind.
Yeah.
So to give you an example, my guardian angel's name is Philip. It's not Phil. Philip. And they're funny because when I've done names with some of the clients, one was for a boy, and his guardian's name, and I asked permission from above if I could use that, and the answer is yes, because I'm not using the client's name. So his guardian's angel's name was Bartholomew. The young boy could call him Bart. Mom and dad, it was Bartholomew. Anybody else was Bartholomew. And in doing children, my understanding is that, like, if I were due to read a guardian reading or an angel reading for a young person, and I did this with my own grandchildren, so that's why I know. So any certain point in time, the parents from birth on can use that name. They can pray or ask or converse. Let's use communicate. Can commune with that guardian angel. And then once it reaches child reaches a certain age, then it's like the law of free will just totally cuts it off. So I need to ask again what that 3 to 5 is the range I'm getting. So between ages 3 and 5, that will sever. It's because the child is in becoming and understanding, and also needs to know the independence too. So it's really kind of quite dynamic, but I found it extremely interesting that, so if the child was sick, you could, if you knew the guardian angel of your child's name, you could go specifically and work with the guardian angel, Reiki energy, and the whole 9 yards to help the healing of the child. And I thought that was very sweet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is beautiful. I've never heard it put into that terms with a child to
Well,
call
and I
them.
kept asking, because as I was doing them, what I did was I took a crystal clear Christmas ornament, and then I got my acrylic paints out and I painted their angel, how it came through for me, and then wrote the angel's name on the top. And then I had just a little message for each child from the angel. Yeah, no, Bartholomew was very, I would say, scholarly, regal, boundaries, big time boundaries. So yeah, I thought that was really, really cool. And that particular grandchild of Lynn's is very, very sensitive. He's all boy, but he's very sensitive. You can tell just by his actions. It doesn't take much to set his emotions off, which for a boy, I think I hope he holds on to that, because how many times do, the men in our lives have learned not to cry, that it's not okay to cry. And I was one of those, it was like, stuff it down, stuff it down, stuff it down. And it's like, no, let it out, let it out.
That's right. Even my horses told me, let the tears flow. So, I mean, and I look at horses as being very, very intuitive, very in touch with what's happening, and very in touch with their angels, because they know. And it's just beautiful too when you think about the animals. And like you said, every living being has a guardian angel. And yeah, when I stop and think about that, I'm like, oh my goodness, I was just watching the little butterflies today out. My Minka and I were out by the creek, and they were just beautiful. And I'm like, they have no worries because they know their guardian angels are right there with them.
Yeah, and you just ask, show me a sign, show me a symbol.
Yeah.
Spirit loves to be tested. Be curious, be inquisitive. So my Philip will give me a yes. If you ever heard of the band Yes? Our era, yes.
Yeah.
The band Yes. So my yes is in that big bubble writing. So on all their albums, they had a branding, Yes, the band, and it's big, almost graffiti type looking.
Yeah.
So my yeses from Philip look like that in my head. So yes. Or I would hear a yes song, and no would be the same kind of bubble, and just, but you start to develop that relationship, and it's really cool when you get comfortable with it and start to have fun with them.
Yeah.
And it's like, show me a sign, and then get creative with it and say, I would like to see a red feather.
Well, that's so ironic, because I was just going to say that's one of my signs is feathers. Feathers and red birds, I call them cardinals, and clouds. When you look up in the clouds, a lot of times I'll see hearts, I'll see a dog, I'll see a horse. I mean, there are so many signs when you just start to realize it. And if you ask, you will find something, or you will see something. And a lot of times butterflies are signs.
Numbers too are big.
Yeah,
if you
numbers.
See a series of numbers over and over again.
Series of numbers, yes. Yeah, there are so many signs. Feathers is one of my big ones, because I have lots of feathers in my house from signs from angels, and it's beautiful because I know they're right there. And I tell you, I could have walked that space 5 minutes ago and it wasn't there. And when I have connected and walked back with a sign and asking for a sign, there it is. It's just amazing for me.
I get to tell my chiropractor story. He was just playing with him. He's like, I would like to see a red feather.
Uh-huh.
And he said the hours went by and then he kind of forgot about it. And he went into the floral shop to, I think, get his mom flowers. And behind the gal checking him out was this wreath done in red feathers. He goes, not just one, but an entire wreath of red feathers. He's like, huh, there's my sign.
Here's my side. Yes.
Well, and then there was the double sign for questioning. Well, I guess it's not going to happen today. And then he
Uh-huh.
this beautiful wreath.
They said, oh, yes, it will. You just wait.
Yeah.
And how true that is, because sometimes the hours may go by and you think, oh, I'm not going to get that sign. And then all at once, there it is, just like him walking into the store and seeing it. So,
Yeah.
yes, how that is so very true. Oh, my goodness. They appear in so many beautiful ways,
Yes.
and they know best. They know best what's going to get your attention and how to relay it to you, is how I always feel.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, that is so
So
beautiful.
yes, they help keep me sane, is what I
Mhm,
say.
mhm. How true. Yes. And a lot of times when you're feeling like, oh man, you kind of feel like the world's kind of getting to you, or you kind of are having a little bit of a down day. And all you have to do, for me, it's go out in nature. And there are so many signs, and there they are. They'll say, I hear. That's my Claire, is I always hear things.
Mhm.
And I'll get visions once in a while, but it's mainly the hearing. And I'll hear him say something, and I'm going, oh, that's just what I needed to hear today. That's just what lifted me up.
Yeah,
Oh,
and the animals are cool. Sometimes they'll deliver that message through animals. So like if you keep seeing a specific animal or an unusual animal.
yeah.
So for me, it was a prothonotary warbler, fancy name for swamp warbler. I'd never seen one before on the river, and I had one come and tapping on my window at my River Bluff property. I have a sunroom, and that's where I do my office work when I'm down there. This little warbler came up to all sides, and I'm like, ooh, there's my sign.
Yeah, there's your
So I
sign.
went into a meditation and received quite the download.
Oh my goodness. Oh, how beautiful. Yeah. Mine come through my dogs, through my horses, through nature, through so many different ways. And all at once I'll go out with my horses and they'll like give me a hug, or my one's a kisser. And I'm like, I needed that kiss today, or I needed that hug today. And yeah, there are just so many ways that it comes through.
And people too.
Yeah,
Someone can come up to you and say something, or you can be in conversation with someone and they'll say something and you're going to go, that was it.
that was it. Yeah.
That was
Oh,
it.
how
Yeah.
true that is.
Songs too on the radio. They'll come
Yeah.
through music.
So many different ways. Or you look at your phone or look at the clock and there's 111 or
Yep.
1212 or 1010, or just, yeah, numbers in
Yeah.
different ways. So, yeah. Well, and I knew this show would go so quickly because you and I could chat with so many different experiences and so many evidence of our angels in our lives. So, as we come to a close, I would love to have you back on my show again to share more of your beautiful knowledge and your intuition that you have been given as a gift, and share that gift with others. I just love it. So I would love to have you back.
I love this show just because I feel so calm and at peace and able to share, and it really brings joy. I look forward to these monthly visits with you on this show, and then again letting people know that, hey, we've been there, done that,
Yeah, exactly.
and you reach out for help if you need it. We
Yes.
were not put here to do it alone.
No, no. And to struggle through life alone. No, I
Yes.
agree. And also, oh, that's awesome. I'm excited. So also, would you please share with our listeners the best ways to connect with you?
Yes, I am on social media. I've been kind of quiet. I had some life My partner is a dairy farmer, and he had some health issues with the shoulder surgery, and I'm just getting back into it. So I am on social media. It's just my name. It's Ann Klossing. And then I have a Facebook group, and that is where I channel every Friday at 9. And tomorrow I got to switch it up because I got to take my dog to the vet. So I'm either going to do it tonight or do it at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll probably just push it back an hour. But the best way to get a hold of me is my email at ann@annklossing.com. And so getting back into my schedule, Wednesdays I have appropriated for angel readings, and on Thursdays I've appropriated for channel clearing. And you can go to my website, it's annklossing.com, and you can learn about channel clearing and the mentorships that I've got going. And I don't have the angel readings posted, so just, send me a message and say, hey, can you tell me more about angel readings? And I can send you my calendar link if that is resonant with you. I'm also thinking about hosting I'm not thinking, I am doing a master class, and I'm going to roll out the details on that within the next week. And we're going to do a master class on how you get in touch with your angel. And there'll be some special bonuses and all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll do an hour, so we won't take much. And I think I'm going to do it in the evening, probably around 7 o'clock Central Time. And I believe that date was October 9th. So look for more information on that. And if you get on my website, you can get on my mailing list. And also in the email, if you want on my mailing list, I can get you that way too. So would love to connect.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing it and all the knowledge that you shared today. And I want to wish you magic in each and every day until you and I chat again on Robust Lifestyles. And with that, I want to thank all of our listeners for listening to this magical show with our incredible diva, Ann Klossing. Please share this show with all your family and friends. Check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. And remember some of the beautiful golden nuggets that Ann left with us. Remove yourself from the victim mode and find that joy. Communicate with your soul to help heal your body. And remember the universal law of free will, and just ask your angels. They're right there beside you all the time, holding you and guiding you. And with that, I want to wish everyone a very, very magical day. Remember, be kind to all, including your animals. Give your animals a great big extra hug and share all your love with them as they so deserve it. Until we connect again on Robust Lifestyles, stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.